Hi, beautiful people. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I am here, the creator and writer of the Honest Sisters newsletter, a bi-weekly newsletter gives to millennials who are truly trying to get their shit together. And I am here for another daily motivational video where we use the tarot to become the alchemists of our lives and teach us how to become spiritual beings. A little bit about me. I do not just use the tarot. I use God and customs in the same sentence. And I may mispronounce some things, but it does not stop showing the way to God. It will not stop me. So, angel number 25. I guess you guys have noticed that I'm not doing the moon readings and the full moon readings. Like, I still write them up there all the time, but I really don't. I think right now I'm just going to focus on, like, when I tell y'all I'm just all about completing and doing the shit that God has asked me to do, that's all I can focus on. And so I think I told you guys I have 365 videos. So far, I have 156 videos left. And then I don't know what's going to happen after that. I don't know if the channel going to go away or if I'm just going to stop or it's going to evolve. I don't know. Turn into a podcast. Who the fuck knows? But I just know I got 156 more videos to do. And I'm just going to focus on doing that. All right. So you going to hold on with me till we get there? Fingers crossed. Bring some friends along. You know, like just because I said that don't mean that you can't bring somebody over here. Okay. All right, y'all. Let's just go ahead and get into it. Dear God, guardian angels, ancestors, what information do you deem worthy for us to hear at this time? Please deliver these messages to me and through me. Can I allow no room for doubt or confusion? What do we need to know at this time? What do you deem worthy for us to hear? In God's name I pray, Ashe. These cards are kind of beat up. Kind of hella beat up. These cards have seen better days, better days, better days, brighter days. I've seen. All right, well, we're just gonna do this. Okay, so the first card that came out is release and guidance, and I'll take vibration. So the two cards that we're gonna focus on is guidance. You are not alone. You are guided by masters and teachers of the highest realm. Angel number 212. I really just feel like with us going into the Aquarius age, which is like the signal of us going into the divine feminine age, I just really feel like this is the era where God is trying to remind you that God is God. And God really wants us to learn how to work with the divine side. It's so crazy because back in the day, we used to do this, like especially in African traditions and down south, like we used to acknowledge our ancestors and the spirits. And I know like Mexican communities are like really, really good at this, but like we've kind of for majority of the world, we've kind of really shunned away the spiritual side and like kind of act like it just doesn't exist, and that is like the furthest from the truth. Like there is literally a world that is running like parallel to ours, and I just and I don't even think it's like running parallel. I just feel like it's a world within the world. Like I think once you realize when you start to walk with God, and like when you really make the conscious effort to be like, you know what, I'm not going to be afraid of the spiritual world. I'm not going to be afraid of my abilities. I'm not going to be afraid of these gifts that you gave me. And I want to communicate with you, God. I want to talk to you. When you really work on your relationship with God, like this ain't got shit to do with religion, but when you work on your relationship with God, you will start seeing that shit everywhere, and you'll just start realizing like, oh, like this spiritual shit is real. Like it's not some made up shit. And I feel like when you are on YouTube and like when you like kind of first get into this and you're looking at all these different videos and horoscope readings and shit like that, it can make you feel like it can kind of sound trivial, and it can kind of feel like, oh, this shit can't possibly be real. You can't just manifest. Like, that's why guys always say that and they roll their eyes. But it's like when you really start to like take off, once you get that layer of this isn't real and you just open up to like wanting to do it, you will start seeing like this shit is real. Like this is like it's there, and it's not, and it's like it's real. And the other thing that I was going to say was like my trip. When I went on my trip, I just realized I'm like, God, I think the problem with our society and our world is that we're trying to make sense of God. We're trying to logically make sense of God when he's a spiritual and divine being, but we want to have this physical proof. And I realized like when you just stay in your head about God and about who you think he is and what he can do, I think that's when you don't get to see the true beauty of God. But like when you just believe in God and you walk in that belief of God, you'll see proof and you'll see like, damn, like God is real. And what I realized is God moves in action. Like God is not a mental thing. He's a verb. You have to move in it. You have to actually, you can't just believe it. It's not enough to just believe it. And I think for a lot of you guys, and I feel like maybe this message is coming out, is because you are at this point where you believe it and you want to believe it, but you haven't seen proof of it. And I think the reason why you haven't seen proof in it is because you haven't walked in it. Like God is an action. Like you have to walk into God. You have to walk in the love of God. And, you know, that's why I always say faith without works is dead. Faith, you work by faith and not by sight. You walk by faith and not by sight. And that's because God is an action. You see God in movement. Like you're not, if you have to plan and plot and then, you know, see, you want to see a tangible proof, like it's not going to happen like that. You're not, because, and that was me for so long. Like, well, God, I'm plotting, I'm doing all this stuff. Like, why am I not seeing you? But when I started moving and started being like, oh, I'm going to go on this trip, or, oh, I'm about to do these honest chats, or I'm about to do this. It's like, that's when you start being like, oh, wait, like this is, you start seeing it. You can develop a language with God. I think I am going to write that article about the languages of the universe, because I just realized, like, I feel like I'm not describing it properly. And that's why I think I will never stop writing. Like as much as I love talking, like it's just, I can better organize my thoughts through writing. And so that's why I always tell you guys to go back to the Honest Sisters articles, because sometimes I'll be explaining something here that I've actually written in great detail and it actually makes sense. And, you know, it's a streamlined thought. Whereas here I'm just, you know, literally talking off the top of my head and taking information that I'm getting. So it's not quite formulated. But this guidance card is just, you have to walk in God. You have to walk in faith. You have to do it in action. Like if you really want to see if it's true, like you have to do it in action. And a good way to do that is to say something out loud and to just wait and watch it show up. Like I remember I said, for me, I was like, God, well, I believe in this spiritual stuff. I want to believe it. No, I said, I believe in it and I want to believe in it, but I just see a whole bunch of white people doing it. Because so if you are real, if the spiritual stuff is real, then show me with some black people. That's all. That was just the simple thing. I said it out loud, then I let it go. And a couple of weeks later, my friend was like, oh, Amber, this remind me of you. And like, just send me this flyer. And I went to this girl house on the east side of Detroit. I didn't know nobody in that room. It was just like a handful of us, but it was nothing in it. But it was all older black people, mature, professional people with real professions. And I was like, oh, this shit real. Like, I remember like writing in my journal, like my life has changed. Of course, you know, I had more stuff like, God, show me again. You know, like, it's like I've asked for my stuff. And each time I ask, he'd be like, bloop, and here, and here. And so that's why I'm saying, like, you got to see God in motion. And once you start doing that, you be like, oh, I'm not alone. Like you can plot and plan. I talked about this once and I'll say it again. You can plot and plan all you want, but you can't account for miracles, the way that God is going to assist you, the way somebody going to like your energy and give you a discount, or where somebody's going to randomly throw you some money. Like you can't plan for divine interventions and miracles. You can do all the plotting and planning, but you can't account for that. And once you start actually moving and just being like, I'm not going to limit myself to anything. Like say, for example, I just came back from my trip not too long ago. Actually, now it's like almost like a month ago now. And I'm about to go on another trip. And at first I was like, oh, like I'm tripping. Maybe I should slow down. And then I'm like, you know what? No, fuck that. I'm a single woman. I make some pretty good money. I should be able to make this happen. And guess what? I'm making it happen. And now I'm just so excited and so ready for that next trip. And so, and again, it's not because all my ducks are in a row, but it's just because I'm just learning to just move in faith and being like, it's going to be okay. Like I know that God only wants the best for me. I know that, you know, God wants me to have fun. He wants me to live my life. And so I'm actually going to do that. And I'm not going to hinder myself because of my mind or because of my self-sabotaging, but I'm going to go and move full steam forward. The next card that came out is release anything that keeps you from your authenticity and your path. And that's just clarifying everything that I was saying. Like, I feel like you have to make a mental shift within your mind that you're not afraid of the spiritual stuff, that you're not afraid of God. Like, I also still have my parameters. Like, I tell them all the time, I don't need to see you. I don't need to see you. Because I done saw some shit and I was like, ooh, let's remember the rules. I don't need to see you. Like, I don't need to see you. I can feel you. I can hear. Like, I don't need to see you because I'm not there yet. Like, I don't need to be seeing shit. Like, I am not there yet. And so, like, you can set those rules. Like, I'm not there yet. We can, we can play in the dreams. Y'all can talk to me in there. Y'all can do all of that. We can do these readings, but do not bring your ass. I don't need to see you. Because I'm not there yet. And I know that about myself. I know it will freak me the fuck out. And so it's like, I know that about myself. But I also know that this spiritual stuff is real. And I also feel like I don't want to deny it. And I want to have these connections to them. And I want to build a relationship with them. And so you have to release that part. Like, I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of having this connection with you. I'm not afraid to build something with you. I'm not afraid to talk about you out loud. I'm not afraid to talk about God out loud. And I think when you get like that and you're just open to it, then you'll start seeing the proof of it. Because I feel like a lot of us, we want to believe in it. We want to believe in God. But it's because of how we've been taught. Like, we've been taught that, you got to do the right things and you got to say the right things and you got to go to church and you can't have sex before you get married and all of this other bullshit that God is not even thinking about. God just want whatever the fuck you want. Like, God ain't got no goddamn rules. He put us down here with like, see you later. He literally like dropped our ass off, was like, boop, see what he did. Like, I will holler at y'all later. Like, God doesn't have these rules. He wants what you want. And I think a lot of us, we keep ourselves back and we don't feel like we can have these relationships with God because of, whatever, the church has, especially the church. Oh my God, don't get me started on the church, but because of, these things that we've been deemed is bad. Like, I really remember being younger and just being like, God, like, I don't know what you got against Jay-Z. Like, I know I'm a sinner because I'm listening to rap. And then I just had to like mentally come like, you know what? This can't be wrong. Like, it can't be. I know if God would just listen to some Jay-Z, he would love this nigga. So, so just like, and honestly, thank God for Kendrick and just like, him just being free and like talking about God and like cussing and saying God in the same sentence. And it's like, oh, it's not blasphemy. It's like, it honestly allowed me to feel confident to talk, like to come on this channel and talk about God this way and talk about my relationship with him and being my full self. Like, when I talk to God, I don't, and this is, I want y'all to hear me say this because this is how I operate in my life. I do not code switch. I do not believe into that. Like, I'm literally on my work calls just like this. And half the time I be like cussing, like, whoop, shit, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry, I ain't mean to cuss. But like, I'm not into that. Like, I need to be me. Every fucking day, 100%, I need to be me. I don't need to be in any situation that made me feel like, oh, I shouldn't have said no. Like, I'd be like, what? Like, that's extra. Like, I talk to these motherfuckers just like I talk to anybody else. And I'm just, that I have to keep that. Like, that's important to me. And so I say that to say, like, when I talk to God, I be talking to him just like this. Like, God, this is some bullshit. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm stressed the fuck out. You need to come show me some shit. You need to show me a sign. You need to let me know that this is, I'm not in, like, I literally talk to him like this. And then I'll be like, after I calm down, I'm like, God, I apologize for talking to you that way. But my heart. And I'm just frustrated. And like, I can't stress this enough, but I really have a relationship with God. Like, I can honestly say at 33 years of my life, like, I know that motherfucker. I love him. I know his energy. I can feel him. Like, I have felt hugs from him. I love God. Like, that is my nigga. Like, I can be in him. It's like this. And like, I trust him, and like more and more. And I learned, like, the more that I walk in that trust, the more that I just do shit, the more that I, do things that I've only dreamed about, and he just keeps blowing my mind. And I realize it's not really that much of a big deal to do these things. Like, I just trust him more, and like, I feel more confident in my relationship with him. And so I just say all that to say that at some point you got to stop watching the YouTube videos. At some point you got to stop theorizing. You just got to trust, and you got to just walk and move in that shit, because that's the only way you're gonna know. You only gonna know until you know. That's another one of my things from my 33 things I know for sure. The last thing is vibration. Your vibration is being being raised to higher levels. You are connected to the cosmo intelligence. Angel number 1508. And I just feel like this is just God just saying, like, the reason why this whole message is coming across is because you're there. You're at this moment where it's enough. You've done enough research. You've done enough thinking about it. You've done enough plotting, planning, and you did the research. You did the self-help books. Like, you need to see this shit for yourself. And the only way that you're going to see it for yourself is when you actually move into that knowledge, move into that love, move into that faith. You have to walk in it. And honestly, I was actually just listening. If you ever want to know if you ever need some extra encouragement outside of me, I'll make sure I put this in the links down below. Listen to this. It's a Tabitha Brown, Jamil Hill podcast. And if you just listen to Tabitha life, and you just listen to the way God has moved in this woman's life, it'll give you just that extra courage to be like, okay, I can do this. I can see it through. And also another one I'll give you is a Niecy Nash as well. You'll be surprised, but Niecy Nash is another one of those very highly spiritual individuals. So I mean, I'm just going to leave that there. I'm not going to pull no more cards. I'm going to go straight to the Sacred Rebels. But I just really feel like what God is saying is he wants you to know that you're not alone, that he wants to build this relationship with you. In the first way that you can do that is by releasing, these doubts, releasing the fear, and just open yourself up to God. The last thing that kind of popped out before I'm not going to take this card. Maybe I should just take this card. I'm going to take this card. I'm not even going to shuffle. She feels, she knows. Angel number 22. Along with the power of attraction going on with the vibration. And so it's like, again, I feel like you're at this point where you have, acquired so much knowledge. Your energy is at this place to where your spirit, I'm going to be honest. If you're watching this video, I think your spirit team is trying to talk to you, and they're trying to connect with you, and they're trying to find a way to build a relationship with you. And I think the reason, and I think you want to as well, but you're a little nervous. And I think what's blocking y'all communication is your resistance, that fear. And I feel like if you just block it and be open to it, you guys can start to build your relationship. And, you have to figure out how you speak to your spirit guides. Like, I can tell you, angel number 1733, I talk to my, spirit guides through numbers, through birds, through feathers, through music, through movies, through dreams, through these videos. Like, I mean, there's the morning pages. Like, there's just, I honestly, at this point, it's like, when I don't know when the fuck I'm not talking to. Like, I'm always kind of in communication with them in some way, shape, or form. But it's like, again, because I'm aware of it, because I'm actively aware, I'm actively listening for these things, I'm actively wanting to have this connection with them. And so right now you need to get to that point where you drop your fear, and now you need to figure out how they're talking to you, how they're communicating with you. And you can also just start it off by just saying out loud. You don't have to be a ritual or anything. Like, our tongue is powerful as fuck. Like, when you say, and honestly, last side note, I was just watching this thing or listening to the Breakfast Club, and they were like doing a promotion about Viola and Oprah conversation. And Oprah talked about how she asked God for her husband, and like she described all the characteristics. And then like a couple of weeks later, she ended up meeting her husband. And so, like, at first I was like, "Ooh, I'm about to go into this bathroom," and I was about to do that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not ready yet. Like, that's really, like, I've gotten to that point where I know how powerful my words are, that I'm like, okay, I don't even want to speak this nigga up, and I'm not ready for him. Even though I'm like actively working towards it, I'm like, I don't want to rush it. Like, I think at this time I'm like trusting divine timing. And so you can just say out loud, while you're in the shower. I feel like that's a really good thing, because you're cleansing the water. You're 9 times out of 10, there's not like a lot of technology or any interruptions around you. And you can just say like, hey, God, hey, spirit team. Like, you ain't even gotta be like that, but I do little silly shit like that. It's just like, hey, like, I just want y'all to know, like, I love you guys. I recognize that you're working in my life. I feel like I can feel you guys, but I don't know if it's real. And I want to know that it's real. And so, God, can you do X, Y, and Z? You can literally say, if you're real, God, please do this. Please send this my way. So for me, I said, show me some Black people doing it. And then I went to the Black retreat. You can be like, show me, literally you can say, show me Black people doing it. Or, send me a sign that you're real by, sending, 3 doves my way, or and whatever you want. And I'm saying like just random shit because these are things that I've asked, but you can just be like, just let me know, like, how can we communicate? Or like, if we communicate in a song, like, send me a song and let it, let me know without a doubt that it's you or something. Like, you have to just say, like, I want to know how to communicate with you guys. I'm open to communicating with you guys. And just send me a sign that is real, and they will send you a sign that is real, just like that. And then you can also say, like, I don't want to see y'all. Like, I don't want to start seeing shit. Like, please don't let me audibly hear you. Like, that may freak me out. So you can say, just show me a way, show me a sign that you're real in a way that I can receive it and feel it and accept it. Okay? All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to end this message with She Feels, She Knows, angel number 22. An illumination is erupting from within you as a vision that is bringing what was once obscured into reality. I'm going to start over. She feels, she knows. An illumination is erupting from within you as a vision that is bringing what was once obscured into reality, into clarity. This is not likely to happen as a blinding, shocking insight, but more as a softer, gentler knowing. It is like knowing something without understanding exactly when or how you came to know it. This insight will assist you, and you are asked to honor it. You will know which insight it is at the right time. Your heart will tell you. You are therefore being asked to rely upon the clarity that is coming to you now, or has just recently come. Gently but firmly from that place of knowing, intend to act and take your next step forward. This oracle comes to you with guidance. Guidance. Angel number 2211. God trying to get your attention. This oracle comes with you with guidance, particularly about long-range or long-term development. Something that is far bigger than an immediate situation, issue, or moment is of importance. Although you will have a dim sense of the possibility at best, the situation you find yourself in right now may not be one of joy, but in time you will understand more of the bigger picture. You will come to see why things are happening as they are and how you are being helped onto the next stage of your path, even though it may look like an obstacle right now. You're being asked to think in terms of long-term happiness. Sometimes this warrants change or even temporary restrictions in the short term. If you cannot see how the present can possibly become what you sense the future to be, this message is especially relevant. Through the natural process of transformation, great leaps are indeed possible. You simply must be prepared to surrender into the process with absolute trust. This oracle brings you specific guidance. The situation in your current life are particularly geared towards a more significant manifestation that is coming to you, according to your life path and purpose. This is a stage of preparation and of building a foundation that will hold you strong and centered as your creative journey unfolds and your life path becomes even more brilliant and luminous. So keep plugging away, keep patient, but most of all, be hopeful and trust in the light you sense ahead of you, for it is the light that is already within you, simply revealed more fully. All that is happening now is happening to that end. And so angel number 20 through 58, this message actually perfectly clarifies what I was saying. You have been doing a lot of work. I think you're at this point where you sense something coming, you sense this connection, you sense this change, but you're not quite sure what it is. And what God is just telling you is that you just have to surrender and trust and believe that what you sense you feeling, what you believe is possible can actually happen and that you can achieve. Okay? All right, so put your hand on your heart and repeat after me, or touch and agree with me as I say this. I feel the light of all that I am and all that I will be unfolding within me. I surrender what is into the loving fire of transformation. the light of which illuminates the presence and manifests the future in the highest creative expression of unconditional love. I feel the light of all that I am and will be unfolding within me now. I surrender what is into the loving fire of transformation, the light of which illuminates the presence and manifests the future in the highest creative expression of unconditional love. I feel the light of all that I am and all that I will be unfolding from within me now. I surrender what is into the loving fire of transformation, the light of which illuminates the presence and manifests the future in the highest creative expression of unconditional love. Ashe. All right, y'all. That is all the messages I have for you. If you made it to the end of this message, please give me a thumbs up. If you made it to the end of this message, you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Until we meet again, dream those dreams. Never let the internet rush you, and never, ever, ever let someone tell you what you cannot do. Mwah! Namaste. I will see you next week. We did it. I'm about to get back in the groove. I hope so. Y'all, I think I'm just gonna have to be like a Pisces and go with the motherfucking flow. All right? See you soon. Bye.